A lot of home service business owners don't know this, but there's a thing called entities. And so an entity is a known quantity. So the stronger an entity is, the more likely you're going to get returned for in that kind of keyword soup, in that pond of keywords. So if you own a painting company and you're Bob's Painting Company and your name is Bob Smith, I'm going to go out and search Bob's Painting Company and then I'm going to search it with Bob Smith. So what will typically happen is Bob's Painting Company, if they've never done good SEO, then they'll have some returns on the homepage, but by page 2, Google's already returning different companies, which obviously is a big loss that's a big business loss for Bob's, right? Then there's no association with Bob Smith. I can find Bob Smith on Facebook, but he is not associated with Bob's Painting. So that's the first step. I just wanna understand how Google is returning them because people need to understand this. So that's why I start with how does Google understand and see your entity? Because if that's not in line with what's
Mhm.
possible, like if they are an HVAC company in the north area of Dallas, in the Dallas Metroplex, like if they're in Carrollton and they're like, I want to be number one in 6 months, and their website is really unknown to Google, I'm not even going to take that gig. If they won't come back off of that target, there's no sense in even taking it because the competition for HVAC is one of the toughest out there. And you got major players that are spending 5 figures a month to stay number one. And so not only is 6 months not reasonable, number one might not be reasonable. Now, maybe
They don't need to
aside
be
from
number
that,
1.
that's
People
what
got
I'm let's go after the low hanging fruit keywords.
Mhm.
Let's go after the lesser volume keywords, the neighborhood based keywords. Let's find some easy wins there and let's start climbing this ladder and then let that new revenue pay for the SEO. And now you're just playing with house money. So if I'm on neighborhood based keywords instead of the big giant keywords, then we're getting that business in and that can pay for your SEO campaign. And again, now you're playing with house money. And so that's what I want to pitch to them. If they're not willing to accept that, I've just learned over the long term that's not going to be a good customer fit because they're not living in real land. They're living in la la land. They're operating on a set of principles that don't exist.